A massive thank you to Corsan, Vitor, Christian, Owen and the Rider of Tomorrow for subscribing to the channel. If you're not already featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 3 of Season 7 of the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. Yes, we're already 3 races into what has been already quite an insane season of this My Team series. However, of course, if you missed out on the last video that went live from China on Monday, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out before we jump into this one today. Yeah, both races to kickstart the year have been very interesting. But of course, if you aren't already as well, please do make sure you leave a like and get yourself subscribed as well for more Formula 1 content. But of course, this weekend, we head back to the iconic and historic Imola for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Of course, real-life Formula 1 is heading to the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix as well this weekend. And so am I. Really looking forward to heading down to Italy in Bologna for the the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, probably I should call it. Of course, if you are going as well, let me know down in the comments below. You know, maybe we'll try and get something sorted out if there are enough of you guys going. But yeah, really hyped and excited for it as well there. I'll be releasing sort of details over on TikTok as well, and I'm sure I'll put something on the YouTube community tab as well, you know, if you are going and everything like that. But championship-wise, we still lead the way now, just 3 points clear of George Russell there. Max Verstappen in P3 and Charles Leclerc P4 there, just 2 points separating those 3 drivers there who are absolutely hounding me for championship contention. However, constructors-wise, a very different story at the moment. We seem to be the only team that's had a pretty decent run through the first couple of races there, so we've got a 27-point gap over Red Bull as we head to Imola this weekend. However, yeah, going to be an interesting one though. Love this track, but often so far at F1 2021, it hasn't loved me. Let's get into it. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022, and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, the choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like. Right, well here we are then, back at Imola once more. A very picturesque circuit on the F1 calendar, and yeah, cannot believe I'm going to be here in just a couple of days time. Hence why sort of videos over the last few days have been all over the place. You know, I've been trying to get ahead, ready for the weekend. But I mean, yeah, such a picturesque circuit as well. However, already looking like we might see some changeable conditions as the race weekend, at least in-game, is going to go ahead there. But just got to try and make our way through free practice first of all. Of course, Shanghai last time around was a really difficult track for us on this game. Imola, though, I seem to have been able to really gel with. So very happy with that. You know, it's a track that's so rewarding. Just got to have absolute supreme confidence in the car underneath you as well, though. And so far, I'd like to believe this 2-2 V7 Challenger has given us that. Head through the second Ravazza, trying to just make sure we get the purple score. I mean, we don't need the R&D points anymore, but always nice. As all better get on with it. There we go, purple score. Right, let's get into our qualifying simulation run then here from Imola. I mean, last season here, I think we just missed out on pole position, or it might have been season 5 actually, where we narrowly missed out on pole. So we have definitely got some good pace around this circuit in the past. And like I said, it is just a track where you kind of got to attack the curves, but really sort of learn what the car can and can't do. As we find a couple of tenths through the first sector, I obviously would like to run for a really high downforce setup here. And yeah, that's definitely going to be the key this weekend. It's a weirdly fast circuit as well, though. You have to run a lot of downforce around here, but it is still quite a high-speed average circuit nonetheless. And I think that's just what makes it so much fun as well. You know, there's a lot of just trying to hang on in with the car through a lot of the corners, especially, you know, sort of down the bottom of the hill here. The fact we can pretty much make it through that first part now without lifting at all just seems mind-blowing to me. And then, of course, this chicane as well. Braking just at the 50-metre ball there. Got to really tip it in nice and early and try and ride the power on the exit. And you can see now as we head down in towards the Ravazzas, a couple of tenths up here towards the end of the run. Trying to make sure we attack the curbs, though, as best as possible. And get a nice run at the final corner. And there we go, half a second up on a qualifying sim. That definitely gives us a lot of confidence as we get into qualifying. Right, well here we are then, qualifying day in Imola for round 3 of the year. And like I said, if Q1's anything to go by, we have definitely got some good pace in the car there. Verstappen went fastest, but both myself and George Russell are within 1/10 of a second off my teammate, and the top 10 was separated by just 3.5 tenths, so certainly not going to be much room for error. We're going to need a low 11 here, as that is immediately not the line through turn 1, just outbraking ourselves slightly. Yeah, low 11 is the goal. Down in towards the final couple of corners then. First lap hasn't been particularly brilliant, I won't lie to you guys, but just got to try and get the lap on the board nonetheless. So I think it's probably going to be a mid to high 11 if I was a betting man there. There we go, Sergio Perez sets an 11.1, and no, it's a 12. Oh, that was not good. A 12, pretty much bang on there. Yeah, we're definitely going to need a lot of time on this second lap. So a minute left on the clock, and we're going to go out for our second run here in Q2. Let's wait and see then. A lot of the time to be had is in the first sector of the lap, but we need to be brave right the way around, because we also need to try and use this as a bit of a sort of get you in the right headspace for our Q3 runs. Let's really concentrate. So there we go, end of sector 1, 6.5 tenths up immediately. Not the best run through the second half of the lap, but we are still going to be about 6.5 tenths up when we get to the line there, and that puts us P3 at the end of the second runs then. Perez, though, fastest. He was looking quick. There we go then, the end of Q2. Sergio Perez fastest there, 2 tenths clear of Lando Norris and myself. But look at that, Verstappen out to Guan Yu Zhou by just 2 thousandths of a second there. 3 thousandths behind Valtteri Bottas. I said qualifying was going to be close here, and Max Verstappen out for the second time in 3 races in Q2 then. Not what our Dutch teammate would have wanted. However, we need a good lap to try and put 2 and 2 Motorsport right towards the very front. Right, well, first run then here in Q3 is going to be on an old set of tyres that we used in Q1. Just going to try and get a good banker in and set ourselves up. Of course, only one fresh set of these soft compound tyres for the final runs. This is the problem everyone has now. You've got to use so many sets of tyres earlier on in qualifying. You know, it's not anymore. You can just guarantee to make it through Q1 on a single set. It's that close between that many cars. Coming towards the end then of our first run. This lap's actually felt pretty hooked up. Of course, losing a little bit because of the tyres. But let's just wait and see what the time is going to be there as we head out of the final corner. Still an 11.4. That was fastest. Okay. Don't know how we've managed that, but we'll take it there. Clear of Tsunoda, Stroll, Perez and Russell. No idea how that's gone purple. Here we go then. Final lap of qualifying here from Imola. Can we put this thing on pole position then as we round the final corner? Everyone, though, is going to be really pushing here, so we're going to have to really concentrate and try to get a good lap on the board here. Fresher tyres, though. Of course, these ones haven't done any running so far, so grip should be at a premium, but we need a low 11. Let's try and ride on board then throughout the entirety of this lap as immediately we find a 10th through sector 1. Oh, lost a bit there, though. Took way too much curb. Finding a little bit on the exit as we head up the hill. Just being a bit brave on the throttle. Oh, this is going to be so close, but no one else is improving at the moment. Oh, there we go. Someone's gone faster. It was Perez. He's done a 10.9, and I probably shouldn't have looked at the delta there, because it could have meant we could have found a little bit more time there. Sainz now has gone up into P2 as well, as we head down in towards the final couple of corners. I think we might still just find a tiny bit of time there, just through the little bit of extra grip. Can we put this thing still on the front row? No, we can. It's only P3 at the end of qualifying. Perez takes pole here in Imola. Well, there we go then. Qualifying done and dusted here from the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, and Sergio Perez gets a lap in under 71 seconds there. That is some phenomenal pace by Red Bull. Sainz, though, on the front row for Ferrari. I'm sure they love a good race in their home GP there. And yeah, look at that again. Antonio Giovinazzi getting up inside the top 10 there. I'm sure he'd like a good run at his home race as well. But we're just ahead of both Mercs. George Russell down in 7th, though, so not the qualifying he would have wanted. In fact, yeah, our 3 main championship rivals so far, Russell, Verstappen and Leclerc, none of them are going to be starting inside the top 6. Let's get it then here from Imola. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
Hello there and welcome back to Imola, home circuit of the Scuderia Ferrari. We expect to see a lot of local supporters in red today. They've all turned out for what we have every expectation of being a sensational event here at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. 3.1 miles of track here at Imola, featuring 19 turns, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. Remember that Imola differs from most other Formula 1 circuits as it's driven anti-clockwise. Let's hope no one forgets that today. The exit from turn 18 will probably be the setup for many of today's overtakes, leading as it does into the longest straight of the circuit and its only DRS zone. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Can I get your take on Ferrari? We have a number of changes to the aerodynamic regulations this year, and the signs haven't looked good for them so far in terms of getting to grips with those changes.
It doesn't look promising for them so far. And if the new regs have hit them as hard as we think, well, I suspect they may need a few late nights at the factory to get back on track.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Sergio Perez will lead us away from pole position. A very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Mr. Monaco, Tsunoda, Lance Stroll and Giovinazzi, Russell, Joe, Bottas and Lando Norris, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Esteban Ocon and Leclerc, Mick Schumacher, Aitken, Christian Lundgaard and Nicholas Latifi, Eilert, Giotto, Schwartzman and Nikita Mazepin. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Right, well here we are then on the grid, ready for round 3 of the year here from the Emilia Romagna GP from the iconic Imola. Sergio Perez on pole, of course he almost took us out of the Grand Prix last season. If you remember the 100% race we did here, he almost binned it at turn 1 and took me with him. But Sainz alongside him on the front row, I'm sure Ferrari would love to try and make it 2 wins in the last 2 Grand Prix. We'll have to wait and see about that one though. Ready though for this GP. Looks like we're going to see some rain towards the end there. So like I mentioned, actually, I'd almost forgot about that, to be honest. Yeah, there could be the chance of rain later on in the afternoon, you know, if we get a safety car, something like that. However, strategy today, though, I want to try and do soft to mediums. That's going to be the goal. But yeah, that rain could really change things up later on in the afternoon. Ready on the grid, though. Round 3 of 23 here from Imola. Let's see if we can try and get a nice, clean, tidy start. 5 red lights. It's going to be lights out, and away we go. And neither myself or Carlos Sainz get off away well there. Yuki Tsunoda immediately going to try and make a move as we're going to be 2, almost 3 wide towards turn 1. Oh, nowhere for us to go there. And George Russell immediately gets past me as well, though, so he must have had a rocket ship start as well in the second Red Bull. Perez, though, despite that, does still lead the way when we make it through the first sector here. But Tsunoda, Stroll and Russell all making gains over myself, though. Looks like Giovinazzi has also gone backwards off the start, but not what we needed there. Just couldn't get the throttle down. Normally, I get too much wheel spin. This time round, we just didn't seem to have enough throttle in going through the car there, through the rear wheels, and just didn't go anywhere at the start of this GP. But got a warning for a collision with Lance Stroll. Didn't really think I was going to be able to do a lot about that one. There's a nice wiggle at the bottom of the hill. But as we head now in through the chicane, the Variante Bassa, I want to say. Sergio Perez leads the way then, coming towards the end of lap 1. He's not had a good start to the campaign, so a win here would be absolutely crucial for him and Red Bull. Sainz, though, in P2. He wants to try and get Ferrari's second win on the board. There's Tsunoda and Lance Stroll, 3rd and 4th there. Mercedes, still right there on pace this year. As Russell 5th, myself 6th. Zhou Guanyu in 7th, ahead of Antonio Giovinazzi. Already, though, trying to keep the pressure applied to George Russell in front of us here. Doesn't seem to have the same confidence around this track as his teammate Sergio Perez, who is pretty much already checked out at the front of the order. We get a really nice run, actually, at the final corner. Are we going to be close enough to Russell? Look at how quick that Red Bull is.
DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Using loads of battery as we head down towards Turn 1 there, having a look to the inside of the young Englishman. But, yeah, we're running quite a lot of aero this weekend. I was worried about how early the rain would come, so might make overtaking rather difficult. Now, all over the gearbox, though, of this Red Bull as we head down in towards the final couple of corners there, almost into the back of George Russell. But we need to try and get a nice run out of the final turn. We're a little bit closer than we were last time around, but look at how well that Red Bull picks up off the corner when it needs to.
Then we won't have enough to reach the end of the race.
We're definitely going to have enough fuel, Jeff, but are we getting close enough to George Russell? Back down towards Turn 1 there. Oh, he broke earlier than I was expecting. I think he thought we were going to go for the move, and we probably could have then, but wasn't confident. Starting lap 5 now, again getting closer and closer to George Russell as we head back down towards Turn 1 there. But this time around, the Red Bull actually goes a bit defensive. Will that leave him vulnerable on the exit of the corner there? We really try and get on the throttle early off the turn, but again, Russell just going a bit defensive here. And perhaps this is what we need to do early on in the GP. Maybe try and get him out of the DRS of those cars in front of him, as someone's had issues up the road. That must be Nikita Mazepin. Pretends to be shocked. I think Mazepin might be out of the GP there. I'm very upset. There's new strat already. Didn't realise we were going to be 2-stopping Jeff, to be honest, but yeah, I think we'll go with the 1-stop. Oh no, I've said the 2-stop. Okay, we're doing that. Oh, here we go. Tsunoda to the outside of Carlos Sainz as we head back down towards Turn 1. Although the yellow flag's out there as well. There was a little bit of contact, I think, between Tsunoda and Sainz. Look at the run we've got, though, on George Russell. But Russell was never going to give us the room on the inside there. It's all kicking off early on here at Imola. We're only 6 laps in, and we've already got a 5-car train forming as we try to look around the outside of the Red Bull this time around. Desperation already starting to set in here. We're going to try and keep the nose there. Oh, Russell. Oh, there is a little bit of contact. He is going to drop away from the cars in front. But I don't think it's going to be for very long there, as that Red Bull definitely has got the pace over the Mercs and the Ferrari. We are just desperate to try and make a move there, as Zhou Guanyu thought about it, and I very much tell him no. Are we going to see Tsunoda try it again? This time around, he gets to the inside of Sainz towards Turn 1. There's even more contact between the pair of them, though, as we are just nowhere. We seem to get so much understeer through Turn 3 there when we get the better run. But Tsunoda's now made the move work on Carlos Sainz. So I'm sure Lance Stroll will be looking at that thinking I can definitely do that as well, as again, around the outside of George Russell off the corner there, Montoya Schumacher style, between myself and our fellow Brit. Can we hook it up around the outside this time round, though? Just nowhere left to go on the exit of the corner. Oh, I'm so sorry, Zhou Guanyu. I did not think you'd try and go for a move there. Clearly now, Zhou Guanyu trying to get his elbows out in this series, maybe trying to help out the Red Bull in front of him, but I was not expecting him to try and go for a move there. Apologies to the Chinese Formula 1 driver. Right, is Sainz now going to be able to get a run back on Tsunoda as we head towards Turn 1? Looks like he is, and this is just giving me so many opportunities that we just can't seem to do anything with at the moment. There is all again. So Sainz and Tsunoda, we got yellow flags out. Looks like Zhou Guanyu's gone round behind us. Guessing he's made contact with his teammate Lando Norris back down at the first chicane there, but it is all still going on. Third time's a charm, please, Matt. Please, third time's a charm around the outside of George Russell this time around. We're going to get a lot of the car in front as we head up the hill, but George Russell has still got so much speed in that Red Bull. We'll keep our foot in this time round, though, and I think this time as we head down the hill, no, look at that Russell trying to hang on there. We have a bit of a wiggle, but we finally get the elbows out and make the move work there. Lando Norris almost tried to follow me by, but this is just crazy battling early on in the year there. Big wobble as we get towards the top of the hill there, as well as now Lando Norris has made the move work on George Russell, the former GP2 or Formula 2 rivals, even I should say. But it is just crazy scenes early on here in Imola, but I'm absolutely loving it.
Push now. We're boxing this lap.
Sainz and Tsunoda for about round 8,000 in this Grand Prix, but this time round, Sainz pulls off the move before we even get into the corner. Need to try and keep picking off these cars though, because if you look at Perez, he is just, checked out. And basically, he's, unless we get a safety car, it looks highly likely like he's already won this one, and we're only 9 laps in.
Be aware we expect the grip levels to start falling away soon. Some information on Russell. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
Oh, George Russell then's day goes from bad to worse. Looks like he might be struggling over the next few laps then with some mechanical gremlins. But what is the straight line speed like of these Mercedes cars then? As I'm sure Tsunoda going to be trying to look for another move on Sainz. We're gaining though in on Lance Stroll. They're going to go side by side up the road. Oh, Stroll tries to go defensive. We'll try and hook it up right on the outside there. He just about gives us room in the end. And every move around here feels like such a big gamble, but we have pulled it off. And now I'm into P4 there. A little bit easier than the one we had to try and make on George Russell. But this is just such a scary race so far. And that's not going to help us. So Stroll will say thank you very much and retake the place almost immediately. And now Lando Norris wants to try and get involved in this battle once more there. Just trying to stick close to the Ineos logos off the exit of the final corner. Is Sainz. I think Sainz might not be close enough to Tsunoda. We are definitely going to get close enough to the Canadian though. Can we do it 2 laps in a row? Here comes Sainz though. Up the inside of the other Mercedes. Oh, it's all just getting so insane so early on in the campaign now. We get back around the outside of Stroll with a very, very robust move there, and I don't think we would have pulled that one off had the 2 cars in front not been going side by side. But everyone trying to get their elbows out. Everyone knows every point matters this early on in the campaign there. Look how far ahead Sergio Perez is. Even if we can get to the front of this group, we've got a big chase on our hands to get back up to the Mexican. I hope in this time around myself and Sainz can both get right up to Yuki Tsunoda there as Lance Stroll into the pit lane. Sergio Perez into the pit lane as well. There are a lot of cars into the pits. So Sainz is going to try and get a run back on Tsunoda. We could make this 3 wide. Oh, Sainz moves around. He thought about trying to get back up the inside of Tsunoda and spotted me there at the last moment. We had to get on the brakes, but we're not going to box for probably another 2 laps. My aim is probably come in the end of lap 14 and then take a set of mediums to the end there. Tyre wear around here has been better than I thought it would be, but that could have easily been it would have been a 3-way battle for the lead that could have gone sour very quickly. Right, are we going to see Sainz and Tsunoda into the pits then at the end of lap 12, or are we going to see him try and just go a little bit longer in this GP? Oh, big snap of oversteer. Nope, they're both in. So now we've got some clear track space ahead of us, and we need to try and get an overcut on these 2 cars there. We need 2 qualifying style laps before we box, as it's going to mean Perez back up into P2. That's not how to start a qualifying lap, Matt, but yeah, Perez back up into P2 then. Everyone else though on hards. This is where the race could come back to me. Well, apart from those couple of small errors at the start of last lap, we have done 2 pretty fearsome laps here, I want to say, of Imola. Just running a little bit wide through the Ravazzas, but we've got to make sure we get it slowed down into the pit lane here. It is going to be very, very close between myself and, I think, Carlos Sainz still up in P4 there. Looks like Stroll has actually got an an undercut even on his teammate Yuki Tsunoda. But where are we going to re-emerge in comparison to these cars? Just Christian Lundgaard, who's on a bit of an alternate strategy as well today. But Perez is going to re-inherit the lead then. We get a 2.8 second stop, which isn't particularly brilliant. Lundgaard into the box as well, so we're not going to get stuck behind him at all. But I think we might get the overcut here even on Sainz and Lance Stroll there.
To speed now. Let's get some
Don't bottle it off the restart. Here they come. Stroll and Sainz behind us, but we have got out in front. So now we've got 13 seconds, 18 laps to try and close up to Sergio Perez, as there's more yellow flags out. No idea who's gone round. think it is. Oh no, it's our teammate Verstappen who's ended up in the gravel. So that basically is Verstappen's day done and dusted. But we now are going to try and close up to Perez. We're going to have slightly fresher, slightly quicker tyres between now and the end of the Grand Prix. I guess the other big question is what is happening with the rain? But we've got yellow flags out. Someone else has had issues. I think it's Verstappen again. I think our teammate might be out of this Grand Prix. Or has he just looped it around again by himself there? I think he has. What is going on for Max Verstappen there? 2 mistakes in 2 laps for our teammate as we're trying to take a lot of time out of his former teammate, Sergio Perez. Yeah, Verstappen's just spanned by himself again. As the gap to Sergio down to 11.5. Oh, there we go. New fastest lap of the Grand Prix. There are 13.2, sorry. That should be bonus point locked in as well. But gap to Sergio now under 10, as that was a lot of curb through turn 1. But we've got to try and keep these tyres in good nick as well, of course. About to start lap 20 then here from Imola. And the gap 7 seconds. Team trying to give us new strats. We are just staying out to the end. No point boxing again in this Grand Prix. As now the gap to Checo pretty much the same. Oh, we definitely weren't pulling out a second lap this lap. We almost throw it all away there. That is how hard we're pushing here in the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. That could have gone very, very bad.
Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes time. Rain in 10 minutes.
And that could make things even more interesting here in this GP. Rain still predicted right before the very end here from Imola. Let's wait and see though, because often Jeff can kind of get a bit sort of confused by the concept of time, to be honest. He might tell me in 10 minutes and it's going to be 15 minutes away. You just never know. However, we're just going to keep pushing at the moment, still setting fast laps.
You'll be on the softs.
I've already told the team I'm not boxing again. Gap to Sergio though, under 6. We've got more carnage down at turn 1. Looks like another Alpha Tauri has gone round. I think that's Zhou Guan Yu, but I wouldn't actually know. Both of them have now gone round somewhere down there, so I don't know which one it is, but Alpha Tauri having a nightmare home race. Let's start lap 25 then. I'm really wondering actually whether Sergio Perez has got some issues in that car, because even Stroll, Sainz and Tsunoda have taken time out of him over the course of this second stint now. I think Perez, yeah, is really struggling, perhaps with a similar issue to what George Russell had earlier on, or perhaps they're just trying to make sure it doesn't happen to the second Red Bull. Yeah, we are still taking time though out of him. Gap 2 seconds with 8 laps to go. That was annoying. Lando Norris takes away my fastest lap bonus point, just as we make a mistake through the final couple of corners as well. Sergio Perez 1.2 ahead of us with 6 now to go. And with 5 laps to go then for the first time today, we're going to get some DRS of Sergio Perez here. Oh, how much are we going to gain actually? In towards turn 1 there. We don't want to use too much battery up at the moment, but we are definitely gaining on Checo. However, we're also now going to be greeted with a huge amount of dirty air as well, which is not fun, especially around a track like this.
We're expecting rain in around 10 to 15 minutes.
And there we go. I told you guys, Jeff's sense of time is awful. That's just proven it. Oh, I've really tried to get on the power early that time round. And we just nicked a wheel in the gravel there, but we're still going to have the DRS on Sergio Perez as we head back down towards turn 1 there. Gaining on the Red Bull, who just makes that thing as wide as he possibly can there through the first corner. And then again, we're greeted by a huge amount of aero wash. Just need to try and stick close this time round and don't make any mistakes so we can get the run back to T1.
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
Perez didn't get the best run out of the chicane there in a similar fashion to what we saw from Sainz last season here. But about to start lap 30 then of this Emilia Romagna Grand Prix there. And you can see again Sergio Perez, the back end wriggling around as he tries to put the power down. And this time round we should be able to get a monumental overrun on him back down towards someone there. Clear past Sergio Perez, who has led this race right from the get-go. But with 3 laps to go, a better strategy might just now be able to win this. Sergio Perez, though, has not given up on this race just yet. There as we try and get a nice tidy run out through the final couple of corners. Are we going to see Sergio get close again? Back down towards turn 1 here. Look at how quickly the Red Bull's gaining on me. As we head back down towards the first corner, we're going to go defensive on him. But Sergio Perez, nothing we can do as we head back down towards turn 1 there. He reclaims the lead of this Emilia Romagna Grand Prix with just 2 laps to go. We're going to have to really stick close. Team absolutely right that we can win this place back. It might be a last lap move similar to what we saw last year here. Of course, that time round it was a last lap move on Carlos Sainz for the final podium place. He might finish P4 2 years in a row as he's back down in P4 at the moment, but I mean surely he's going to be trying to line up a move on Lance Stroll as well there to start the final lap of this Grand Prix. But it is all or nothing between myself and Sergio Perez. Could we have 3 different teams winning the first 3 races of Season 7, or can we stamp our authority on this championship with a second win of the opening 3 Grand Prix? Let's find out there. Perez doesn't get the best run out in towards the final couple of corners there, but we are about to start the last lap here of the race. We almost completely went to the back of there and just running a bit wide out through the penultimate corner. We're going to be a little bit further back from Sergio Perez than I would like, but get the DRS, get gaining on that Red Bull once more there as we head back down towards turn 1 there. Who is going to be out on top when we get through the first couple of corners? Oh, Perez, he just moved right at the last second there to try and block off through the first corner, and we could not commit any more to the inside. So now we'll have to wait and see. I guess our only real chance is if he makes the same mistake as Sainz did last year. We might be able to get a run down into the Ravazzas there, but has Sainz pulled off the move on Lance Stroll? I think he has. So Sainz last year missed out on a podium with a last lap overtake. It looks like he might be able to claim a podium this time round with a last lap move on Lance Stroll there. Looks like Sonoda has lost a place to Russell as well, but I think Sergio Perez might just have enough to try and hang on here at the front of the running order. Are we going to see a mistake from the Mexican through the chicane? I'm sure he's going to tip it in super easily. And no, we are not there as we try and put the power down on the exit of the corner here. Sergio Perez is going to make it. 3 different drivers from 3 different teams winning the first 3 Grand Prix of the campaign here. We can only muster up P2 in the end, and Sergio Perez is a Grand Prix winner once more.
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
Victory for the team from Milton Keynes then, after a quality performance. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be proud of the victory they secured here. Mr. Monaco increases their championship lead. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Charles Leclerc showed exactly how to manage yourself out on the track today. He was almost flawless out there. Incredible stuff.
Let's move on to the constructors. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. Meanwhile, Alpine move up the table with another strong performance this weekend. Well, that was certainly an incredible weekend of racing. Be sure to join myself and Ant for more exciting Formula 1 action soon.
Well, there we are then, the end of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, and Sergio Perez back on top once more there in his Red Bull. His first race victory since, I'm pretty certain, Brazil, right at the end of last year there. And like I said, has not had the best run through the first couple of race weekends, but pole position and the dub today exactly what the Mexican absolutely wanted and needed there. We come through for P2, so another podium for us ahead of Carlos Sainz there for Ferrari. Their second podium in a row. Strolling for the head of George Russell and Tsunoda there. And yeah, Giovinazzi, even more points on the board for the Italian there ahead of Charles Leclerc, Bottas and Daniel Ricciardo rounding out our top 10. Mick Schumacher just misses out on points ahead of Esteban Ocon there. Ilott in P13 ahead of Zhou Guanyu and Nicolas Latifi there. Not a race to write home about for our teammate Max Verstappen down in 16th there. And you can see just the remainder of your finishes. Just Mazepin not making it to the end and Jack Aitken finishing 1 lap down there. Does mean championship-wise, we have opened up the gap ever so slightly up to 11 points there ahead of George Russell. Charles Leclerc still in P3 ahead of now Perez in 4th and Verstappen down to P5 there. Still ahead of both Mercedes though, who weirdly haven't done badly in the opening few races, but haven't scored particularly brilliantly either. Sainz jumps past Ocon and Daniel Ricciardo there. Giovinazzi hangs on to 11th there, jumping past Bottas and Lando Norris. And then on countback, Latifi now up into 19th place ahead of Robert Schwartzman, with Mazepin, despite his teammate having points, is still last in the championship there. Constructors-wise, though, the gap at the top comes down just to 10 points ahead of Red Bull. Ferrari still hanging on to P3 ahead of Mercedes and McLaren there. And Alpine rejump AlphaTauri for P7. But thank you all so much for watching this video nonetheless. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like and get yourselves subscribed as well. Like I said, if you're heading to Imola, let me know down in the comments below. But we'll be back very, very soon with more F1 2021 content. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.